What's up, YouTube? I'm here with Jordan Anker. Jordan, you want to tell us what you did this weekend?
I got 7th place at the Seattle Regionals playing Orcust. Alright, so my build was going second. It's based on Honey's list that topped Portland. For starters, I played Armageddon Knight, Greffer, and 3 Scrap Recycler. I felt like these were the best starters. I would play more of these if I could. Not much more to say on that. And then for the main Orcust engine, I played 2 Hardpour. These are probably the best ones. You don't want to play multiple, at least I didn't want to because I didn't want to draw too many hands where I'm seeing multiple of these. 1 Symbol Skeleton, you don't need more because you can recycle it back. 2 Bricks, but you always need 1 in your deck, so you pretty much have to play 2. 1 World Wand, this helps you make your Boral Sword easier because you get back your, if you can pitch Hardpour, then this becomes better. It's target to send off Orcust Nightmare. And then the honorary Orcust, which is Gizmek. This thing's insane, it stops OTKs. One of the cool things you can do is with your Crescendo, you can search this out and then in the battle phase and then summon it also in the battle phase. So it's pretty cool. Basically your hand filters and free dumps. 6 dangers, you would play the 9 if you could. I don't like the other ones. I think this is just good enough. Pitching Nessie off of Twin Twisters and all the other effects is just like the best thing ever when it resolves. Board breaking cards, 3 Prankatops. This thing's really good against your trap decks because it forces your strikes and solemns and all that stuff because they don't want to lose a monster and then lose a back row, so they usually just flip it right away. This also lets you play through Summon Limit because you summon this first, and it also lets you play through other floodgates like Rivalry. There can only be 1. Really strong monster, 2600. One of the best top decks too, like in a simplified game state. I played this guy. This guy's pretty cool. He lets you float into the monk link, and then he also forces negates. Again, this thing stops Summon Limit, and it stops some of the other. He doesn't stop There Can Only Be One, but he stops a lot of the other floodgates that are detrimental to your game plan. And then to float, I played Destrudo. This card's cool, but also like it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It kind of feels win more sometimes, but also it's always an extender if you have some of the worst ones. Like if you just open Heartport in this, he's one of the better ones to have in your hand. Going into the Yazi play is really game-changing because a lot of decks like Striker, they can't deal with the non-targeting effect of Yazi, and it just helps make bigger plays too. Sometimes just even the 1000 attack is just relevant, surprisingly. And then lastly, for the monsters, I play 2 Bricks, Mare and Shadal Dragon. You're supposed to float into this once you pop with the Yazi, but I literally drew this like 80% of my hands. This is like the absolute worst card this weekend. I kept drawing this with like World 1 and Nightmare and just couldn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know, like, I really don't want to play this card going forward just because it was just so awful for me, but when it does resolve, it literally ends the game, so it's kind of hard not to. And then Dragon was great. I think I hard drew it once, and I had a 6-card hand, revealed a danger, and they hit this, and I popped a scale, so even when you draw it, it's not horrible. The one of spells, I play Babel, I play Foolish, and I play Rhoda. This is like your engine. This is the most important card in the mirror match, so you kind of have to play it. Rhoda gets to Armageddon Knight and Greffer, so it's like it gets to your best starters, and this just gets all your engine back online in case you lose it. It's also a great extender. For one-ofs, I think Instant Fusion is probably the best. Sorry, for the rest of the cards, not one-ofs. Instant Fusion is probably one of the best spells because it helps you make the window board going first, and then also makes 1000 Knight going second. So it forces negates, and it just does a lot. And then Call by the Grave, again, one of the best spells in the deck because it's good going first, playing through hand traps, and it's also good if they don't hand trap you, then it's a defensive card, and then going second it allows you to play through things like the Hieratic Seals and other stuff like that, and then when they hand trap you on your turn also, going second even. And then Shadal Fusion, I think this is the best going second spell right now in my deck. There was a game where I resolved this, and it was just like so free. I already had Hardport banished. I send Dragon, send World Wand. I had one Dead Destroyer in my hand, turned into Yazi, started popping everything, and like literally came back from the game from like absolutely no card advantage. 3 Mystic Mine. This is probably the best card to open up your plays. It allows you to play through their all their negates and all their hand traps and stuff. That's like there's sometimes in the game state where like they can't chain anything to get rid of this, so you just play through everything for free. Randomly, I was playing against a Cosmo guy, and he had like 3 things out. Activate this, and I think there's no other real card in the game where I would have lived, maybe like an evenly matched. But this card just like allows you to live in those games that you would lose, and then you just kind of build your advantage back and then come back that way. And then Mind Control. I think this is probably one of the weakest going second cards in some matchups, but then it's just such a blowout in others. Like in Sky Striker matchups, just taking their link is like insane. Same thing with Orcust. If you can bait the Crescendo and then just take the Galatea, overlay Ding, or like shuffle stuff back for free and then overlay Ding, like you're just gonna win those games. So I feel like you have to play this. And then lastly, I played 2 Twin. This was a meta call because I knew Seattle's gonna have a lot of Sky Strikers in the meta. When you have people like Tristan and Imanov top every regional with Striker, you know you're gonna have to play a bunch because people are just gonna want to copy their deck list. So Twin. At least in Seattle, you better be maining at least 2. And then the last Crescendo. Only trap I felt that was necessary in the main deck. It's searchable. Didn't feel like 2 is necessary too because you don't want to open multiple. You really don't want to even open 1 at all in this deck because I'm going second. So I really need every card to be live going second. Okay. Extra deck. So starter cards, basically Phoenix Cerberus and Monk. You get to this from the Tenyi. Unfortunately, this is not dark because if it was, you could do the Orcust combo and then Mare and then float into this, but you can't. So he doesn't get summoned that much, but he is a good card. The down arrow has a lot of synergy with these guys, making them underneath. If you open enough extenders, you can really like build a bunch of advantage quickly, and then not lose card advantage by like destroying stuff. That's pretty much it. This thing, I feel like it's really important in this format in general to play Cerberus as along with Phoenix. I know a lot of people cut it in past formats, but right now everyone's playing Control, and Striker and Salad both play Hida, so you don't want to give them a free target to get this back. And if you notice, I didn't play Ash Blossom or any other fire monsters, so this is usually the only thing they're ever going to be able to summon. The obvious Mermaid to float off the 2 Nightmares. This gets you into your engine, so you have to play it. And yeah, this is probably going to be the next hit on the ban list for us, unfortunately. As far as engine cards, I only played 2 Galatea. Extra deck space was tight, and I think I had maybe 1 game where I really wanted the 3rd. That was about it. It really doesn't come up. If you manage your resources, you should be fine. Longirsu. Man, this thing was like absolutely MVP this weekend. For some reason, like in past tournaments, he just didn't come up. This weekend, he was probably the most summoned monster. He came up so clutch in the Pendulum matchup, sending back the Endymion, and then also in the Cosmo matchup, just sending back ships and then overlaying Ding. Like, this thing was actually just so crazy. 2 Dingirsu, boss monster of the deck. I think 2 is absolutely necessary because if you're made to go first, usually end on Ding Galatea. So you want to overlay the second one instead of symboling back the first one, because then you can symbol back stuff and do other plays. Yeah, not much more to say about that. I wish I had 2 ultis, but 1 will do for now. Bomber Dragon, again, this is like not the greatest card in the extra deck, but when you do get when you get forced to go first, this is one of the better plays you can do. It's just a utility card too. I had a guy try to Boral Sword into this, but I had Crescendo, so cleared it out. And then this is how you win about, I would want to say, 90% plus of all your matchups. Making this with Dingirsu, it's just game. You just attack, effect attack, and it's like 86 damage through like pretty much anything. Instant Fusion and Instant Fusion and Shadal Fusion. Winda is just insane right now. Also, the effect to stop Nibiru is super relevant. Someone Nibiru'd me through this, but I honestly kind of forgot about the ruling until after the match. Someone told me about it. Yeah, I think this card's going to be just better and better as the format progresses. And then Thousand Eye Restrict, just force negates, not much more to say about it. Yazi, this is obviously for the whole Destrudo thing. The fact that it can't be targeted is super relevant. It kept coming up. People kept trying to impermanence this or Widow Anchor it. And people like just are not familiar with this card. So I think this card is actually like one of the better choices right now. And then Link Rebo, I don't think I made this once, but it comes up in theory with the Thousand Eye and then with the tokens off of the Mare that you get off the Yazi. And then for side deck, the third twin, so this is if I'm playing Striker, I'll just put it in, or like trap decks like Altergeist. Pure Order, if I'm playing Striker or if I'm playing like Guru, you want to play this because it stops their field spells. It stops, at least for Guru, it stops their field spell. But this stops pretty much the entire deck. This, if you have Ningirsu and this, they don't have Cosmic Cyclone to chain immediately, you're probably going to be winning that game like 9 times out of 10. Because then also you can protect the Phoenix Pop. They really don't have that many answers to this card, main deck at least. And this is basically 3 more copies of this card. Again, if they don't have the Cyclone to chain to this, you're just going to reduce their game to a crawl. And if you play this deck long enough, you know that your opponent cannot allow you to get free turns. You're just going to kill them. Speaking of free turns, you play 3 of this and this. There's decks that literally just can't play through Scythe. I think this is actually one of those decks that really struggles with Scythe. I feel like Ash Blossom is being less and less represented. In fact, I didn't really play any hand traps this format. I think this card's insane right now. There was a game where I literally just set this and the dude Phoenix popped it and then just couldn't do anything, had to pass. And then to go along with this, I play the 3 Lancia. This is probably the best mirror match card right now, and I get to play 6 copies, so I feel like might as well. And also it's good against Pure Thunder. And then the last is the Red Reboot for trap decks. My one loss in the entire tournament was to Altergeist. I drew both of these, and like that was that hand I was talking about where I had 2 of these, Mare, Destrudo, and Orcust Nightmare, and I just literally couldn't do anything. So that was pretty terrible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's for the deck profile. I'd like to thank my sponsor, KGT. This beautiful mat is from them, this field center as well. If you guys are looking for field centers or mats, I highly recommend going to them. They're on Facebook, and also there's probably going to be links in this YouTube channel description. Thank you.